is Chris Mueller, import specialist. Behind the camera, we have James.
What's up?
And today we are doing sub installs on the Ricer Prism. First thing a Ricer needs is banging subs. Above everything else, it's banging subs. And then a lip. The lip is very important.
Lip is already done.
Yes.
The next thing.
We're gonna pop the hood. The getaway. Then we're gonna disconnect our battery.
Make sure we don't blow ourselves up here.
This is a ratchet. This is a 10mm socket for that ratchet. That's how you put it on. This is how you disconnect your battery. Hook it onto the terminal, loosen it up. We're going for the ground, so all you really need to do is stop the electric current from going through. Tuck it off to the side where it's not going to touch any metal.
Bam. Now we're not going to blow ourselves up.
Hey, what's up, James? What's up? Alright, so here's a parts overview. First, you're going to need a ground wire. This one is the fucking 4-gauge wiring. You're going to need to match your both ground and power to the same gauge of wiring. You're going to need some speaker wire just to connect to the subs. You need a remote wire to run from your deck to the sub to let it know that it's supposed to turn on. A power wire, obviously, to run through the car. And then an inline fuse. This one's rated to about 1,000 watts, which is exactly what we're going to be pumping out of this amp. 1,000 watts. And then we got a sub. This one's a 12-inch Type R that had a little bit of an accident, but we fixed it up. It's got a little bit of a port, and those are your connection points. Parts. TA cable. That makes sound. Go to places where it is needed.
Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go.
Now cable through the firewall. All of this awesome power cable. Keep feeding that awesomeness.
I love these cables. I buy these at Car Toys, and they're literally. Oh, actually, no. These one I went to Foss Auto over in Slauson, around our area.
Oh, yep.
They make really high-end cables and shit, good stuff.
You already said it. You don't have to count.
This cost me like $40 just for the power wire and the ground put together. But they cut it out for you. They make it different colors. They give you free terminals. They do a lot of good business over there.
I forgot the terminals on this one.
Well, they're on another car actually. So that's the only issue is that I have them. They're just on a different car.
And now they're going to be on this car. So basically, take the trim out, which is right here. Take the little plastic bit of trim out, and you want to run it along the rail to get it through the body.
there anymore. We took it out so we can access easier, but you might not necessarily have to do it if you can run it just right.
Yeah, weight reduction.
Weight reduction.
And then it's gonna go back.
Alright, so what you need to do from here on out is you need to unscrew your terminals. They might be actual screws or they might be these little Allen wrench hole things. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find your power, which is going to be the long cable that you ran through your car. You're going to find the 12 volt, that's your constant battery power. You're going to unscrew as much as possible, take your connection. You might actually have a terminal, I just have a little hole where this goes into. Pop it in there. And you're going to want to tighten it down and make sure that there's no wires exposed. If there is, you can trim it down a little bit. You can pop it in there more if you have enough room. I happen to have these pre-cut from before, so your circumstances may be a little different.
Different gauges, different.
Yeah, different size
connections.
wires. Alright, since we got that one down, we're going to go for a ground. I like to keep a shrink wrap tubing around it, my ground, just so I make sure that it doesn't make any contact where it's not supposed to. You're going to pop it in your GND for me. It's going to say ground. GND stands for ground. It might be something like a minus on yours.
Plus, minus.
Yeah, well, the plus is going to be power in any situation. The minus is going to be the negative.
There's a minus, it's plus or minus.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, now that you're in a spot, hold it down again. Please excuse my fingernails. I've been trying to clean them for days, but I've been working on it. And car guy. So, there's that. Alright, make sure they're all nice and tight. They're not going to wiggle out randomly along your trip, because that would just be bad
Hit
news.
a bump and all of a sudden your music will be gone.
Your music will be gone and on fire. Yeah. Alright, that's all we need to do for here for now. That's your power, your ground. Your amp should be receiving power as soon as you hook in the remote. I'll show you that in a second. What's super cool is I've never had to deal with this before, but I usually get the remote wire so I can run it through myself. I bought this kit at O'Reilly's for an astounding $8 with my friend's discount, and look at what's built in.
Regular $20.
Regular $20 to 8% or $8, and it comes with a ground wire built into the RCAs because they go right next to each other. How magnificent is that?
Super easy, time saver.
And beautiful.
Now you run it together and it's a single wire.
And you don't have to worry about fussing with other wires, all that crap. Nope, it's just one straight setup. Beautiful. Good job, O'Reilly's. Alright, so these wires right here are very small compared to our bigger wires right here, right? For our power and ground. Well, there's a reason for that. These are speaker wire. They're meant to handle a smaller load, to transfer a small amount of power. Whereas these ones are meant to take all the power that can come through for this gauge of wire. If you tried to hook these up to these power wires, it might work unless you start pumping out big numbers of power, in which case you could either fry the wires, you could start melting the casing, you could cause a fire because of that. So if you're going to use these small wires, remember, speakers and remote. Something small, 12 volts, that's it.
Lots
of
power.
Much power.
All the power.
So we got the amp working. You want to make sure that,
Lights.
yeah, see it's all in there. We got music playing. Well, it's playing inside the car. I just haven't hooked up the speaker yet. So what you're going to want to do over here is
Basically the same thing, right?
Yep.
Undo
the little twisty deals and then put in wire. Yeah. Same deal. Alright, our first wire. This one's a bridged amp, so since we're just using one sub, we're only going to need two of these, left and right, or power and ground. So we're going to put this one in here, as far as it'll go, and without anything popping out. We don't want any wires making any other connections than the ones that they are supposed to, in any situation, honestly, because that's just bad news. Alright, thank you, I'll take that back. So, since we're going bridge with just one sub, we're going to put the positive over here on the sub box. You don't want to come over here, dude. The right one is always going to be red, usually. There, can you see?
Yeah.
It's kind of a hard angle to hit, but then you're just going to put the wire inside of this little connector. Yours is probably going to be a little bit different.
And it automatically clamps down because it's a push button thing.
Yeah, it's super nice. A lot of subs do have those, but just in case. I don't want to give you false hope. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the opposite side. We'll put this one over here first, since we're already over here. Done. Alright, back over here. If it's too short, you're going to want to stretch it out a bit. Make sure you got enough to clamp onto, because that's really what's making the connection, the wires.
The amount of wire.
Yeah. Oh, that scared me.
There's power going.
There's power. No, it's not power. It's the fact that it's bumping really loud music right now. Could you go turn it down? So just put it all up in the hole, turn it all about, as the hokey pokey would let you know. And you bolt it down, make sure that your wire is hitting on the right spot to make a connection with the screw.
Unless you're just screwing around.
Quit screwing around. Makes me think of South Park. And in this instant, we're going to pull that wire away from this one so we can stretch it across to where we need these to go. Alright, back over here. Alright, so here's the most hard part about your stereo build. Where to plug it in.
Plug it in,
Here.
plug it in. This is left and right.
Done. Alright, so
Excuse the lighting, a little dark here. Starting to get a little dark out.
we're in a garage, so
You're in my garage, so.
what you're going to do is move your shifter back. If you want to do it without the car on or anything like that, there's a little button on my car at least. You might not have it on yours, it might be underneath. To move it while the car's off and put it into a different gear or anything like that.
To get it away from the dash.
Yeah, all you want to do is just make sure that you got some room to pull this deal out. On mine, it's super easy. Remember, race car.
Remember, don't give a shit.
Don't give a shit. Alright, then we got our super fancy RCA cables and shit. What you want to do is run it underneath your dash so that it pops out back here and is not visible to the public.
Or anybody that doesn't want to see it.
Exactly. For this job, I'm going to have to hop out the car.
While it's rolling.
Is it rolling? No, it's not. You scared me. Yep. Alright, you guys see that wire in there? Popping out.
There we go, right there.
Reach in, grab it, pull it out. That's all you need to do for now.
Hop back in the car.
Hop back in the car. Correct. And then you're going to check the back of your deck for the sub outs. Some of them have 3, some of them have 1, some of them have none. You're going to have to do it a lot better, or you're going to have to buy a whole new deck.
Helpful.
Just plug it in. That's our subwoofer out. It's going to say SW. See that
There we
little
go,
SW?
SW right there.
And then if you have optional amps, more amps you want to put in for more speakers, you have different outputs so you can plug into different amps.
Front and rear different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Front and rear. They're actually the same sound, but they give you 2 options just in case you want to power the front ones with different amps and the back ones with different amps.
Yeah.
Let me buy your next
Make it sound loud.
Alright, then we're going to strip this one. This remote wire. I like to do it like this, but you should obviously do it in a much
We
safer.
are professionals.
We're complete opposite of professionals. Super amateurs.
Professionals. As far as anybody knows, they're professionals.
Oh yeah.
That's why we were doing it in my garage.
Exactly. The garage, the horsepower junkies garage. What you're gonna want to do now is to find your remote wire. And every deck has one. It's gonna be blue and white or just plain blue, but since this one has an antenna control, it's just the blue and white one. It's obviously the one that's not gonna be used by anything, and you're gonna have to hook up multiple things to this. So you'll see how this works in a second. What happens is that it receives a 12-volt signal, which is basically an on switch for the amp. So when it senses that this is on, it will turn on also. Don't mind the open wires, we're just doing this right now for the video.
We will get it a little bit better.
Yeah, it's gonna look a lot better after we're done here.